Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping.
10 luckiest people caught on camera. Luck and destiny are such crucial topics that affect our understanding of freedom, chance, and fate. We have often thought that someone is barely alive because she had something yet to do on Earth. However, we are tired of watching too many leave us before their time, at least from our perspective. Sure, our spirituality defines how much we accept our luck and the ones we love. Today, we brought you some of the luckiest people ever. All of them are incredible, and we needed to check the stories several times to understand how lucky they were. Perhaps we will witness together 10 life-changing experiences for these people. However, some of them behave so carelessly that we aren't sure they will appreciate it. Number 10. The Meteorite. At the 10th spot, we brought you a rough day for an experienced parachuter. By all means, if a parachuter feels a rush, it must be something wild. In 2012, Anders Helstrup and several other Oslo Parachute Club members were enjoying a summer day, but not a regular one. They took off from Austria Airport in Hedmark in a small plane to jump with wingsuits and parachutes. Helstrup had 2 cameras fixed to his helmet as well. On the way down, he realized something odd happened. Immediately after landing, he checked the footage from the jump, which clearly showed what happened. A stone hurtled past Helstrup and missed him by only a few meters. Later that day, Helstrup returned to Oslo without thinking about anything else but this strange experience. He decided to take some time off work to return to the Rena area for a couple of days to look for the stone, but couldn't find it. Then Helstrup called the National History Museum in Oslo, which turned him into the leader of a group of meteorite enthusiasts. They analyzed the data available and narrowed the search area. After a couple of years, the area was limited to a few hundred meters. Yet we lost track of Helstrup's effort to find the mysterious meteorite. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that will take just 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell and you get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it. It really works. Number 9. Giant knickers to the rescue. Comfy clothes are essential for a happy life. A few times they can be crucial in life or death situations. And we aren't exaggerating a bit. At the 9th spot, we brought you the story of the Marcy family. Jenny Marcy's huge knickers saved her home and family from disaster. Jenny's son and nephew were making breakfast when they answered a knock at the door to find their kitchen was blazing a few seconds later. Although the young guys panicked at first, they reacted just in time. They had the washer load ready to dry and took a pair of knickers, drenched them in water, and threw them over the fire. Miss Marcy said when they found the pan on fire, they did what most people do and panicked. But they found a pair of my knickers in a washing basket and used them as a fire blanket to put out the fire. Number 8. Good fortune. Bill Morgan had his second chance 20 years ago. At the 8th spot, we brought you his story. In 1999, Mr. Morgan was 37 years old and worked as a truck driver, living in Australia's travel trailer. Then he barely survived a terrible accident and made everything worse when doctors found out that he was extremely allergic to the medication they gave him. The allergic reaction was so bad, his heart stopped, and the doctors declared him dead. He remained without any vital signs for more than 14 minutes until he returned to life without any apparent reason. Mr. Morgan regained consciousness 12 days after a deep coma without life support. So when he left the hospital, he bought a lottery card to celebrate. Surprisingly, he won a brand new car. The local news station heard about his impressive luck and invited him to the show. They asked him to recreate the scene scratching a new lottery card, and he won again during the live show, one of the major prizes, $250,000. That is quite a comeback. Number 7. Lottery Woman. Virginia Fike stopped at an old stone truck stop in Virginia with her numbers ready and purchased 2 lottery tickets. At the 7th spot, we brought you her fantastic story. Fike said, quote, "I picked numbers based on my parents' anniversary and their ages at that time, divided by the year they were married," when the local news asked her how she did it. The prize that week was $80 million. After the drawing, the lottery claimed that no one had won the jackpot, but 14 people nationwide had matched 5 of the numbers and were entitled to $1 million prizes each. Fike was in the hospital with her mother, so when she stopped by a convenience store, Fike had the clerk check her tickets, and she discovered that she had won both of Virginia's $1 million prizes. Nice, huh? Number 6. Lucky Carrot. Have you played treasure hunting in your garden? At the 6th spot, we found a family who recovered one of their most precious treasures under the ground. Lena Paulson set aside her wedding ring to do some Christmas baking in 1995, but when she wanted to put it back on her finger, she couldn't find it. After years of searching, she and her husband concluded that the ring was lost forever. That is, until 2012, nearly 16 years later, when Lena found something in her garden. While pulling up carrots, Paulson got shocked when she saw her long-lost ring around one of the carrots. Though the family has been gardening for years, there had been no sign of the ring. It was the first time they'd planted carrots by merely throwing out seeds at random across the garden instead of in rows like they'd done before. Number 5. No more blindness. Most people wouldn't doubt that it is bad luck to be struck by lightning. Yet at the 5th spot, we brought you Edwin Robinson, who thought the opposite could be real. In 1980, Mr. Robinson was blind as a result of a traumatic accident. Then he regained his sight after he was struck by lightning near his home. At the time, the doctors confirmed that Edwin E. Robinson, a retired truck driver, could see for the first time since he became blind due to a highway accident 9 years prior. Robinson was knocked to the ground by lightning when he took shelter beneath a poplar tree near his house during a thunderstorm. Dr. Taylor examined Robinson and confirmed he regained both sight and hearing after the incident. Taylor said the rubber-soled shoes Robinson was wearing when struck by lightning may have saved his life. Well, rubber soles and everything, recovering all senses, was a miracle. Number 4. The man who survived 2 atomic bombs. There are few more horrifying events in history than World War II, as the most affluent countries fought each other with cruel and inhumane methods. Tsutomu Yamaguchi is at our 4th spot as he survived 2 atomic bombs, a feat we hope nobody ever needs to repeat. Mr. Yamaguchi was an employee at Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, which required him to travel all over the country. He had a business trip to Hiroshima in 1945 when the first nuclear bomb blasted. Miraculously, though injured, he survived. As fate would have it, Yamaguchi, after resting for the night in an air raid shelter, started his journey towards Nagasaki, his hometown. He went for his wife and son, who were waiting for him. As he explained his hardships at Mitsubishi's Nagasaki office to his boss on August 9, 1945, a more powerful bomb named Fat Man brought destruction to the city. His wife and kid also survived the bombing. Number 3. Golden Dreams. Dreams are for free, but dreaming paid handsomely for Kevin Hillier. In the 3rd spot, we brought you his incredible story. Mr. Hillier had a tough life. He earned his money for the family by working hard, but a severe back injury complicated things even more. After his back injury, doctors advised Kevin Hillier to spend as much time as he could walking. So, Kevin and his wife took up strolling through the former gold fields with a metal detector. A few nights later, Kevin claimed that he found an endless gold nugget in his dreams. The next morning, he drew a picture on a piece of paper and had his friend Russell sign it as a witness. A few days later, the dream came true. After lunch, the Hilliers were detecting in opposite directions when Kevin screamed. Rushing to him, Bip found her husband on the ground sobbing while kneeling in front of a tip of a gold nugget. They began to dig, and dig, and dig until they reached the bottom of the gold nugget. Lifting it, they realized what they had found was history. Weighing 27.2 kilograms, nearly 60 pounds, it was the largest gold nugget ever seen by a handheld metal detector and the 2nd largest discovered in Australia in the 20th century. Now get ready for today's best pick. Not all lucky people deserve to be lucky after all. Number 2. They didn't deserve it. When we are young, we are keen to take risks. Many of them aren't that bad, like practicing extreme sports, going to theme parks, hiking, or kayak. Any of that is wrong when prepared. Yet some people take unnecessary risks, like these young guys. They film themselves at an old building that looks unfinished, or like in an abandoned facility without any decent explanation. It's hundreds of feet high, and it's a complete no-no for everyone that takes these kinds of risks. Number 1. Accidental Aquanaut. At the 1st spot, we brought you the story of a miracle at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. Harrison Ojegba Okene had an ever-dwindling supply of oxygen in an air pocket that allowed him to survive for 3 days in his sunken ship. As the temperature dropped below freezing, Okene recited the last psalm his wife sent by a text message, sometimes called the Prayer of Deliverance. To this day, Okene believes his rescue after 72 hours underwater at a depth of 30 meters is a miracle. The other 11 seamen aboard perished. According to Tony Walker, project manager for the Dutch company DCN Diving, divers sent to the scene were looking only for bodies. The divers were working on a neighboring oil field 120 kilometers away when they dived in. Nobody believed Harrison was alive until he waved. We hope you enjoyed our video today.